Virginia smoke. OVS, Old Virginia smoke. OVS, Old Virginia smoke. OVS, Old Virginia smoke. Old Virginia.
My name is Luke Darnell, pitmaster of Old Virginia Smoke Barbecue, and I'm here to tell you about my new online class available at barbecuechamps.com. This is a 100% tell-all competition barbecue class from yours truly, available online. It is a masterclass with 34 high-definition tell-all online competition barbecue videos that can be watched anytime, and they do not expire. They are packed full of pro tips, techniques, and recipes that will show you how to take your barbecue to the next level. These 34 barbecue cooking videos total 7 hours and will show you everything that you need to take your competition cooking to a level that you never thought was possible. We've already heard from several teams that have bought our classes and have already seen success and gotten their first calls. So this is something that brings me a lot of joy in sharing my knowledge and seeing people be successful with it. So are you ready to take your competition and backyard cooking to the next level? What are you waiting for? Just go ahead and go to barbecuechamps.com and find Luke Darnell, Old Virginia Smoke. We hope you learn a lot and enjoy these videos and have as much fun cooking these recipes as we had making them. This podcast is brought to you by barbecuedata.com. Barbecuedata.com is your one-stop shop for all of your barbecue competition data. Historical data, calls, wins, placements, everything under one roof. It's a great way not only to track yourself in the standings, but also to track how you improve your scores from year to year. Listeners of this podcast can receive 20% off of a new subscription to barbecuedata.com with the code PITPOD. That's one word, all capital letters, PITPOD, PITPOD. So check your team scores, check on others, and do it all on barbecuedata.com. All right, welcome to another edition of Pitmaster and Old Virginia Smoke Podcast. My name is Luke Darnell. I'm your host for today and every day. And we are all getting ready for the Jack Daniel's World Championships coming up next weekend. And I have with me today one of my good friends on the tour out here, Charles Beard from Glamping Grillers. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Luke. Myself.
Congratulations on your win this weekend.
Thank you, man. That was actually a shocker. It was. You know, we had the remnants of that hurricane, and it come through Jonesboro, and it rained, and you couldn't get anything out until Saturday morning. So it was like get up early, get everything out, and it worked out. But it was a lot of good teams there, and like I said, that was a first for us to be cooking in a torrential downstorm. So.
Yeah, I remember earlier this year at Barbecue Gives Back in Urbana, you had a little flood in that situation too.
That's right. We had better results this time though.
Well, let it be known that Glamping Grillers is really good in a pond.
Yeah.
So are you cooking again this weekend?
We are. We're headed to Montgomery to Pussycue.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Great.
So that'll give you a big run of contests leading right into the Jack.
That's right. That's kind of what we're looking to do is get some practice in before, we go to the Jack. But, with that being said, it's our first time going to the Jack.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say I'm not concerned about the cook, but I'm really not concerned about the cook. I'm going to cook, but man, I just want to take it all in because we've never been. It's the first time, and we're just wanting to take it all in.
I have to tell you, that is the perfect attitude for this. It is, this is our second time. So our first time 3 years ago, that's what we did. We made sure that we went and did everything. We stayed as long as we could. We got there as early as we could, and we just we appreciated everything. But that just, one of our goals after we went was to go back one more time. And so finally we're getting that opportunity this year, and I'm really glad that I get to share that with you guys.
Absolutely. And so I had something in my barn, and I'm going to take it with me to the Jack. I want to show it to you. It's what you see it.
What you got there? Oh boy.
It's my friend Jack Daniels, right?
Yeah. we got, we've got Jack Daniels on the podcast too. What's the one thing that you're looking forward to the most at the Jack?
I think the Mary Bobo's thing, when everybody was saying, "Hey, hurry up and get a reservation," we're going to do. If it's available, we're doing it. So Wednesday night, we're looking forward to doing the Grand Champion, I think, dinner.
Yeah.
Chris Schaefer's cooking, so we're gonna go do that, and then we're going to on Thursday we're gonna go to back to Mary Bobo's and eat, and then do the hill, the parade. I mean, like I say, anything and everything. We're bringing some friends with us.
Excellent.
Brian and Jenny from Rankin County Barbecue. So they're going to help us with desserts and sauce and kind of be our runners. And they've never experienced it either. So, we're just looking forward to it. Just looking to have a good time.
That's awesome, man. And I'm so glad that I get to be there with you. And if you ever have questions leading up to it, let me know. I'm by far not the expert, but I just know what a lot of people have told me when we went our first time. So tell me how, you guys have been at this pretty hard for a couple of years. How has your career and life experiences outside of barbecue prepared you to be a pitmaster on the competition trail?
Well, so I'm in the telecommunication business. So we represent and we sell fiber optic cable to large corporations like AT&T, Verizon, and people like that. Mm-hmm. So, we have a lot of competitors. And I think and I've been doing it for 30 years. And it's really no different than and going out and doing barbecue is, what separates you from your competitors? It's not your product, it's you. And that's kind of how I take it. It's, everybody's stuff is similar. It tastes the same, looks the same, presents the same, but, what separates you and everybody else is yourself, So whatever little spin you can put on it, and turn it in, that's kind of what separates you. It's because everybody's cooking almost the same stuff and the same recipes. And we just, it's just different judges. And you hope you hit good tables and you hope you have a little luck because it's what you need, So I don't know that my job or my experience has really prepared me for barbecue, but we really love, the barbecue family. We love spending time with our family and doing things like that. So it's been fun we've been doing it now this is our second full year. And Dawn and I really just love going and seeing different places. Our goal this year was, to hit destination locations, go to Urbana and go to Murfreesboro and go to Galax and get the fiddles. So, I wouldn't say we're not points chasing. We've never even looked at doing that. We're trophy chasers and destination chasers. So that's kind of what we just enjoy being together and being around good folks, And
that's, I've noticed that you have, I don't know if it's been willingly, but you've partaken in an old-timey barbecue tradition of showing up on Thursday and leaving on Sunday, because that's how we all used to do it. Right. You wanted to get there Thursday, hang out with your friends, let it out a little bit, go ahead and have the cook, but also then have a good time again on Saturday. And that is, it was actually inspiring to me to do more of that this year in terms of our cooking as well.
And, sometimes that's hard. And I understand, some people just can't, they got to get the kids to school. And like I said, we're very fortunate and blessed and lucky, really, that we're able to do that and be able to hang out and get there on a Thursday. And, we were in Jonesboro this weekend. Everybody was leaving Saturday night, and we did too. And we left Saturday afternoon, but we were 4 hours from the house. We didn't make it home. We stopped at Cracker Barrel and put the satellite up, watched the Alabama Georgia game, and got up that morning and had a breakfast at Cracker Barrel, and then we came home. So
Now y'all got to realize that Charles and Dawn cook under the name of Glamping Grillers, and they have this their RV that they take around with them to barbecue contests. It is substantial. I don't know that I could cook if I had something like that. I'd be too busy relaxing and hanging out and enjoying the RV.
kicking up in the recliner. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd be like, those ribs are fine. I got a few more minutes of sitting in here. So,
Well, you buy stuff like that, and we made a lot of people in campsites and stuff, and it's great. It's a comfort thing. I mean, it is really nice to have at certain competitions and being able to travel in it, and but like I tell Dawn, I got this to go places and do different things, so that means we need to get out of the RV
right.
and hang out. So
absolutely. So barbecue, we talk a lot about our successes and stuff, but one of the things I like to talk about is failures. Do you have a favorite failure of yours during a contest where you really learned something that set you up for success later?
Yes. Timelines, are really important. And I was redoing my timeline on a particular comp and got it all done on the computer, got it all printed out, got it laminated. It was all cool, and went right off and left it sitting on my desk. And so trying to go off of memory and things like that. And it was not good. I was burning meat, it's like, and, Dawn's really good about reminding me, but she, she's like, I think you need to, turn the ribs, or I think you need to do this. I mean, we were so focused on timeline, and finally we felt like we had a really good timeline. So I wanted to, because it was all, how you make changes and notes and everything else. And I thought, man, I'm going to get organized. It's going to be great. And then I walked right out and left it. So
I think we're all guilty of doing that at one point.
Yeah. But we really try hard to do that. Try to stick to a timeline.
One thing that I've noticed, though, in cooking next to you a few times is that you are extremely focused on the cook when you are engaged, when it's go time.
Right.
What do you do to keep that focus? And if you do become unfocused, how do you get that back?
Well, Dawn's pretty good about keeping me focused. Like I say, we do have a timeline. I do have, alarms and things like that going off. And, I'll walk in the trailer and she's like, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you, so she's reminding me, even though I may have already done it, she's still reminding me. And I think that helps my focus. And I do the same with her, man. A couple of weeks ago, I know the exact time she gets up on a Saturday morning, and when because she always brings me some coffee and a snack or something like that right at 6:30, and at 6:30 she wasn't in the trailer. So I know that's the time she's supposed to be prepping stuff and getting ready to get her ribs prepped and all that kind of stuff. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just do it. And I start doing all that. 30 minutes later, 7 o'clock, she still ain't in there. I'm like, I hate to even go in there, but I call her. She was asleep. She overslept. And she was like, I can't believe you didn't call me before 6:30. I said, well, babe, I know you were tired. I didn't want to. She's like, no, that was my part. You should have got me up. So
it's, one of the things because I cook with my wife as well. And I'm sorry, behind every successful pitmaster is generally a person keeping them in line. And I know that is true in our relationship as well. So
yes.
But you're there for each other, and that's what counts.
It's great. Definitely a team. And I was watching a podcast, rewatching it last night. I missed the Atlanta Barbecue Store show, and I thought it was really cool how they were talking about even though the Hall of Fame list came out, but it all listed all individuals. And that was kind of the first thing Dawn and I noticed when we were looking at that list. All very well-deserving people, but they left, like Paul and Lynn and Robert and Lex, that's a team. That's a husband and wife thing. So, and they did it together. And that's why they were successful and made that list. And so I was kind of surprised that they didn't list it by team. But after listening to that last night, they said that they're going to announce them as a team. So it's not going to be individual,
Yeah.
So I thought that was good.
That is good. That is there's tons of examples of everybody on that list. Nobody does this by themselves.
Right.
Even if nobody's there with you, there's always a support factor. And I'm glad they're going to do that.
Yeah.
You said you've been doing this 2 years. What's the most surprising thing to come out of competition barbecue for you?
I guess the surprising thing of, again, we don't points chase or whatever, but just to talk to some of these teams that are point chasing and see the level of, where they're going. And it's not just where they're going, it's who's going there and the strategy and the things that they discuss. I'm going here to block this or that. And, it's all a strategy. And that really shocked me because I'm thinking, hey, I'm just going to somewhere I want to go. But when you're at the top and you're at that level, I mean, there is a very serious strategy involved in trying to be number one,
It's crazy. I remember whenever we were deep into that kind of stuff, back in 2015, 2016, 2017, and, people asking me questions about where are you going for this and that when we were going hard at chicken. And I'm like, I mean, I'm just cooking right down the road, dude. Like, now that I know the whole back end of that, it is fascinating. And, that's something it's crazy. Points chasing is crazy.
And the other thing is, the help. That was another thing, how helpful people have been to us. And again, we're, been doing it for 2 years now. I cooked with another team for a little while, but, for us, it was just so many people just helping if we need it, and I made a couple posts not long ago because I was struggling, in brisket and really still am, but, but I was like, help, please, and it was just great how many people reached out and it's like, man, what's going on? Tell me, so a lot of good folks, it's like, hey man, I don't know if I can help you, but what are you doing? And then let's walk through it, and help me, and hey, I got one of your brisket this weekend. So
there you go. See, something's working right, buddy.
Something, yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about gear. What is one of the most worthwhile investments that you've made in competition barbecue?
Well, probably my propane torch. I am going to get another one, but we were at, I used to use the little haystacks and light them with that, and that's fine. But, if I use a torch, I found out I could sleep another, 15, 20 minutes in the morning. So
isn't it amazing how that drives everything we do?
It does. So that was really important to have the torch. And you were at Lebanon at Smoke on the Shores. I almost blew myself up there with the torch I got off of Amazon. It ignited the tube and came up the tube, went up through on my arm, and then the propane tank was on fire, the little propane tank. And so I threw it out of the back of the trailer because I didn't want my tent to catch on fire and everything. And Curtis from Pig and Whiskey, he come running with a fire extinguisher. I run to the front of the trailer with a fire extinguisher. We met in the middle. We hit it, and I'm still kind of, my hairs are burnt and everything else. And the guy across from me said, "Man, I just saw over there, and it was like a ball of fire."
Man, that's scary.
So, but
And
no,
that's you already.
that was a good tool, and but I didn't use that again, and
Yeah.
he got me a new one.
See, that answers my $100 or less question. That's a good one though. It's funny because I light my drums at home with a little torch.
Right.
But I don't do it when we're out in competition. I've never understood why. I just didn't do that. So see, I learned something today too.
Yeah.
Do you use a lot of technology in your cook or not?
I do. I mean, of course, drums are easy, but I just like the comfort level of knowing that, I don't have to continue adjusting. I'm not Brad Laniger. I can't light it, walk away for 2 hours, and come back, and it's just perfect. And that's what he does. So
That's what he does. It's
I don't have
annoying.
that experience, and so I use these. They're analog. They're blowers, but they're called pit IQ. I think that's what they're called. 110s, and they're just analog blowers, and you just turn the dial, set it, and then forget it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's a neat little trick.
yeah. I use those on all my drums. I even use it on the go-to as well. So,
Man, the go-to.
yeah,
It is something.
it is. I love it.
It is. I didn't think that whenever I got mine that it was going to be something that I would cook on all the time.
Uh-huh.
If I don't use that thing 4 or 5 times a week, I mean, it's the perfect little grill, and you can do anything on it. I cooked a brisket on that bad boy.
Well, that's what I cook mine on. So,
Really? Huh.
yeah.
Look at that, everybody. The
Yep.
go-to. See, if you listen to this podcast enough, you can put together a program pretty good.
That's right. That's right. And the reason that it wasn't that it was, I mean, it's a 30 gallon cut in half. And
Yeah.
I think that's, Tim Shears, he's a marketing genius. I mean, take a 30 gallon drum, cut it in half, and sell it for, almost the same price. What a great concept.
But it's super effective too, man. And that's
it is.
We'll have ours down there at the Jack. We'll have it.
Yeah, mine'll be there. And the only reason I bought that was, I have an 18-foot trailer, and the way my trailer's set up, I can get 3 55-gallon, my 3 big drums on the back, but I can't get 4. And I had the bigger drum inside, and it just took up too much room. And I thought, well, I could just get that go-to. And I thought about, actually in the beginning when I bought it, to do chicken on it. But when I got it, I'm like, and I had a brisket laid out at the time when it came in, and I was like, I think I'm going to throw a brisket on this thing. And so that's kind of how it all got started. I was just testing it out.
Screwing around. That's how most barbecue things happen.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's talk about some people who, when you hear the word successful in terms of barbecue, who's the first person that comes to mind?
Bill Hine.
Oh, yeah.
Triple H. There's a bunch of others. Robert and Lex with Smoke Me Silly. That was the first barbecue class I took. Actually, my son and myself went to Huntsville and took that class. There's a lot of great cooks out there. But I'd say Bill and Robert, really helped me a lot. I've taken a bunch of classes. But Rooters and Tooters, Paul and Lynn, very successful, Janky Leg, with Jordan, and the list goes on. It's just, but I would say Bill, he's helped me quite a bit. I've taken his class, and
He's a
but
great guy too.
yes, and you just can't beat the barbecue family, man. They're just good folks. But yeah, success. I would say, I don't know how many people can run a farm and do contests and podcasts and everything. I mean, he's a beast, man. Him and his wife, they just great folks.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. My favorite question: habits, rituals, routines, superstitions. What do you got?
I have them all.
Let's go. Let's get into it.
Well, one of them is at 10 o'clock. Dawn makes a champagne and cranberry drink, and we have that at 10 o'clock. Every contest. So I mean, that's just a little small thing that we do, and then if it's really good, we'll have another one right behind it. So.
I'm starting to sense a theme here, Charles. Very drink based.
Well, I mean, no, we don't sit there and drink the whole time, but that's kind of when she first started doing it, and we did well. I'm like, every week now we have to have one at 10 o'clock. So that's one thing. She goes to the store, she makes sure we have cranberry. And then the other thing is after the contest, before we clean anything up, we just sit down. We have this. Corona's got this platinum beer, and we have a beer piece, and we sit down and we talk about our cook. And I mean, it don't take long. We finish the beer in 10 or 15 minutes, and then we start cleaning up. But that just gives us some time to breathe a little bit, relax, and talk about how we thought everything went.
Do you ask her to rank the turn-ins?
We do. We do.
My team hates that.
Yeah.
But I do it every contest.
Yeah. and she'll, it's funny because once we do that and I rank it and she ranks it, and then it's pretty much we haven't really had a shocker. You know what I mean? It's like we've had a shocker like we turned in some ribs one time, and I did not think they were really good, but they were just a tad on the tight side. And she was like, "You should have pushed those longer because those are really good. And we're probably not going to get a call on ribs today." And I was like, "Okay." And then we got a first place call. And I said, well, I guess we must have loosened up. But, you always get those, but she's pretty much dead on it. She's got a good palate. I taste, and I'll give somewhat of an opinion, but really her palate's better than mine. So I really take a lot of stock in what she says when she tastes it,
And you guys will keep refining that as you cook more. It's something that we've spent 12 years on.
Right.
Kim definitely has a better palate than I do. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm a better judge of tenderness. Mm-hmm. So lately we've started combining the two in a better effort to, make sure that the complete package is there. So it's something that, and I think that's just going to be a constant thing that we do.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's getting to where she'll like taste something and then she'll question, so what was happening with like the brisket, like if it's a tad chewy or whatever, she'll like, did you boil it? Like, well, my intention wasn't to boil it, but it could have, right? She said, well, right. Maybe that's what's causing a little bit of that, maybe you need to bring that temp down a little bit.
I see. That's good. That's good feedback, though.
Yeah, it is.
Do you guys listen to music when you're cooking?
We do.
What do you got?
We have a playlist. Mostly, I'd say more tone lock, whatever that is. A lot of rap, and some crazy stuff. your song's on my playlist now. Purple. So,
Let's start wearing purple by
so
Global Bordello.
yep.
Oh, that song is great.
And
I
you can't get
played.
it out of your head, and that's the first thing we think of when it comes on is you.
Oh, that's the first thing a lot of them think at Waffle House too. They're like, "What in the world is happening? Who's playing this?"
Yeah.
Uh, your competition week, is it the same week to week? Because like when you're planning and trimming and stuff, do you try and keep it the same the week? Because you guys travel a lot while you're doing
It,
this.
it is. Sometimes, it does if we're doing if we're getting back on a Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, and then we got to turn around and leave because sometimes we'll leave on a Wednesday. I mean, like this week we're leaving Wednesday to get to Pusacue. It's not that far over there, but Christy said, "Hey, if y'all want to come over on Wednesday, come on." So hey, we're coming. So. And it's a nice event, and it's at a casino, so we'll have some fun doing that. But yeah, our routine doesn't change. Like she's gone today. She's buying butter and Blues Hog sauces and a few other things, and that's her Tuesday ritual, and to get everything kind of tightened up. And she goes through everything on Monday night, through all of our rubs and sauces, and it takes an inventory. And we have it's an apartment, but it's next on my end of my house over here, but it's turned into a barbecue storage.
Right.
And so she goes through and replenishes everything. Talking about things that, superstitions or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but when a bottle of rub gets down to I use about half to three quarters, it's gone. I
Time
don't.
change.
Yeah, I change. And so I know Miss Ellen at Atlanta Barbecue Store probably appreciates it because I throw it away. I don't. I just believe it needs to be fresh. And after you get about halfway down the bottle, even though you shake it up, I think all this, things kind of work its way down. And I don't risk it. So,
You and I are in the same boat. Somebody this weekend asked me what my brisket injection was, and I don't know. I, I haven't measured one out in probably 9 years.
yeah.
So I mean, Kim takes care of all that. She's pretty much on the same schedule as Dawn. So
Yeah. And
she just
she does too. I mean, when we get in the trailer, I mean, she has responsibilities. And I think when we first started out cooking together, it was more me doing everything and her cleaning up.
mm-hmm.
And she said I don't feel like I'm a part of it. It's all, I'm just cleaning up. I mean, you can get anybody to do that. She said, I want to be a part of it. You need to teach me and give me response. And she did. But when we started taking more classes, and especially Triple H's class, and we saw how, and Robert and Lex too, but mostly Bill and them, is that they work as a team and they both have responsibilities, but they also check each other too,
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much better when you win and you did it together, and she was a part of it and I was a part of it, so
Super important, man.
yeah.
Everybody's got to be on the right mindset, the same playing field, and it's just and the old adage holds true: happy wife, happy life, buddy.
That's right. I've tried every contest since I don't know, for the last 10 contests to talk her into doing brisket, but I think because I'm horrible at it. So you need to help me out, babe.
Well, buddy, it's been great having you on here. Let me hit you with these rapid fire questions.
All right.
Let's see where we go. What do you see about barbecue on social media that upsets or bothers you?
I guess, well, I don't want to offend nobody. Going after judges, comments on judges, that bothers me a little bit because I mean, not nobody's perfect, and these judges do it for fun. Yeah, they eat for free, but they travel just like we do, and it just happens. So I kind of discount when people start. Man, if I had better judges, if we'd have had this, that bothers me a little bit. Yeah.
No, you got it. It does me too because it's a symbiotic relationship.
It is. And I've met some of the best judges in the world, man. They're just so nice and just great people,
I will tell you, not to divert too far, but we had a judge cook with us this weekend for his Masters. And we hadn't done it in a few years, and it was a fantastic experience.
Mm-hmm.
And just getting his feedback and talking about things that are going on in barbecue and sharing our ideas. It was really just a breath of fresh air. And Tony, if you're listening, buddy, you're always welcome. I just wanted to get that in there. It was great, and that's what this is supposed to be.
That's right.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite pre, during, or post competition meal?
I'm hoping I'm near Pig and Whiskey, or you, because you make a good, hash there.
Oh, yeah, breakfast. But don't forget Unc with his burritos, man.
Well, that's what I was saying. Pig and Whiskey, Curtis. I mean, hopefully I'm near them. He did tell me this weekend that I'm cut off because I won.
Why?
So because I won, so he's got to cut me off. He's got to mess up my mojo, man.
Come on, Unc. Get it together, buddy. You can't be cutting people off.
That's right. That's right.
Do you have a favorite present that you like to give to people?
Stickers. I love that.
It's one of my favorites too.
Especially the kids, like Jordan's boy and Aaron's little girl came over to the trailer, and they were collecting stickers. And then it was really cool that where we were, there was a bunch of just rocks, and they had collected all these pretty little rocks, and then they went back and they colored them. Very enterprising kids, because they came back and they hit the right person to show those rocks to, which was my wife. And they were like, do you want to buy a rock? Because they transformed them to something really nice, and you want to buy a rock? They're $1 for 3. And Dawn says, how about I give you $5 a piece? And they were like,
no way.
So those are staying in our trailer now because they are definitely good luck.
Absolutely. That's great that you mentioned that, man. We have a collection of that stuff that we were going through this weekend with the judge, and, just brought back a lot of great memories.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
All right, Charles, last question. If you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, getting a message out to millions of people, what would it say and why?
What would it say and why? Well, that is a good question. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Start wearing purple.
It's not terrible.
It will change your life.
We're going to have to spin that one up in the holler.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a good question. I mean, it's I don't know. I haven't thought about my answer for a while. Maybe I should answer that myself. We're going to go live from the Jack on Thursday evening, so we'd love to have you swing through and come by and be on the show live. And you've been on the show live before.
I have, in Virginia.
from Wise. And yeah, man, it's great to have you on here and great to do a deep dive. So tell everybody where they can find you, and if there's any sponsors you want to mention, go ahead and hit them up.
On Facebook, just Glamping Grillers. Also Instagram, same thing. I'd like to, some of my sponsors, Atlanta Barbecue Store, also Man Meat Barbecue, Smoking Pecan, and my son, Crooked Letter Kitchen. He has a food truck and restaurant, so he sponsors me as well. And it's a good place to store my trophies, too, because we run out of room over here.
It's a good problem to have, buddy.
That's right, man. That's right.
All right. Well, good luck this weekend.
We will see you next week.
There's Jack. We'll see you next week.
That's right.
You might need to bring him on the podcast live.
I'm going, baby.
All right, Charles. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you for listening to Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast. Be sure to subscribe and like the podcast, rate the podcast, and to share it out with your friends. Also, be sure to check out the Old Virginia Smoke TikTok as well. Old Virginia Smoke, one word. That's all you have to search for. It's hilarious. Tune in next week for another great episode of Pitmaster. For companies interested in advertising, please contact Old Virginia Smoke directly via www.oldvirginiasmoke.com. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is edited by Chris Sedanka. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is a property of Old Virginia Smoke, LLC.
Old Virginia Smoke. Old Virginia.